Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, June 8th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some Saturday afternoon baseball for you. The Seattle Mariners versus the Kansas City Royals. Game number 2 in the set. First pitch will be here in about 10 minutes. So let's cue up the music. I'll take a look at the thumb, and then we'll get into the starting lineups. Let's get it. And on the thumb, on the left, we have Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, one of the heroes from yesterday, one of the best baseball players in the majors, Bobby Witt Jr. Now let's get into the starting lineup of the Seattle Mariners first. Leading off for the Mariners, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing third base, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. Batting third, playing center field, no-fly zone, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Try dance up. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching this afternoon for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting fifth, playing first base this afternoon for Ty France, Luke Raley. Batting sixth, DHing for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. Batting seventh, playing left field this afternoon for Seattle, it's Demo Dylan Moore. Batting eighth, playing right field for the Mariners, Dominic Canzone. And batting ninth, playing second base for the Mariners, Ryan Bliss. And on the mound for the M's with a 5-6 record, an ERA of 2.99, it's Luis Castillo. And we need the good Luis after what happened yesterday. Having a 7-0 lead after the first inning and to have the Royals storm all the way back to win 10-9, that was soul-crushing. So hopefully we can find a way to be able to get the dub here this afternoon. And let's get into the lineup for the Kansas City Royals. Leading off for the Royals at third base, Michael Garcia. Batting second, playing shortstop, the superstar, Bobby Witt Jr. Batting third, playing first base for KC, Vinny Pasquantino. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching for the Royals, Salvador Perez. Batting fifth, playing left field, MJ Melendez. Batting sixth, DHing tonight for the Royals, Nelson Velasquez. Batting seventh, the former Mariner, right fielder, Adam Frazier. Batting eighth, playing second base this afternoon for the Royals, Nick Lofton. And batting ninth, playing center field, Kyle Isbell. And on the mound for KC with a 4-3 record, an ERA of 3.76, Alec Marsh. Let's go, Mariners. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Jacob in the building, Sarah in the building, Virginia in the building. How are you guys? Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. Let's get it, baby. And I'm not sure if it's going to be as electric as yesterday. That was one of the best games in 2024 overall. I mean, it would have been nice if the Mariners could have ended up getting that victory, but it shows you how good Kansas City is, how good Bobby Witt Jr. is. And sometimes the manager for the Mariners makes some questionable decisions late, and that has cost us a few games this year. Let's go. I am ready. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you're taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that a lot of people are going through on the daily or have gone through them recently. So if you feel like you're slipping into the darkness a little bit, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. Eat better, exercise, go for a walk, spend time with pets, listen to music. You'd be really surprised if you actually make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. It'll help you slip out of the darkness a lot quicker, and you can win the day. Big facts. Let's go, baby. I am ready. And we also have a Stanley Cup Finals game number 1 with the Florida Panthers going against the Edmonton Oilers a few hours from now. So I'll definitely be tuning into that, but there won't be a live stream for that. And then tomorrow the Mariners play very early, like at 11 a.m. So I'm just going to watch the game with Paisley while I run some errands. And then I'll also be watching the NASCAR Cup Series. And then tomorrow's live stream, we're going to do the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. So we're going to do that, and I believe that's going to be on at 5 o'clock Pacific tomorrow. That way we get a little bit of wrestling in, obviously to hold us over until next weekend where we have the WWE pay-per-view the following weekend. So I'm ready to go. But I will be watching the Mariner game in entirety tomorrow from 11 to about 1:30, and I believe the NASCAR Cup Series race starts usually around 12:30. So I'll get both of those in and finished, and then we'll end up doing the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view around 5 o'clock tomorrow. Definitely excited. It's going to be a busy weekend, lots of things going on, but again, we want to make sure that we hopefully can match up to what KC brought to us last night, and we can even the series up, and then we'll see how it goes tomorrow. The Mariners typically are very suspect, to say the least, when we play in the morning or in the early afternoon, unless Brian Wu is pitching. And last time I checked, Brian Wu will not be on the mound tomorrow. Let's take a quick sneak peek to see who's slated to pitch tomorrow. I believe it's George Kirby, but they have been making some moves with some of these guys. So let's take a quick peek to see what the pitching matchup is tomorrow. I wish the Mariners weren't playing so early. They were playing around like 1 or so. Yeah, so it's going to be George Kirby going against Cole Reagans. So Cole Reagans 4-4 record with a 3.21 ERA. And then with George Kirby, we're 5-5 with a 4.05 ERA. So pretty even matchup. Again, KC will probably have the advantage tomorrow just because we're not very good in the morning. So if we want to win at least one game this series and not get swept, we have to win today. Not going to be easy, but again, we know that we can score. We know that we can actually play and compete with the big boys. But again, it shows you how desperately that we missed Andres Munoz. Obviously they had a pitcher that was pretty much a AAA pitcher that we roughed up. So it's not like we played the Royals' best pitcher and put up 7 runs. So we have to obviously understand that. Their pitcher was one of the worst ones that we went against. We took advantage. But again, if you don't have a good bullpen and you don't have a good closer, or you have guys that are injured, things definitely can look, peaches and cream early on. But again, you have to play a full 9 innings. And if you don't, like I said, and you get that Ryan Stanek type of performance late, or if you're Scott Service and you end up making an idiot move where you end up walking Pasquantino, right, on top of Salvador Perez to give them bases loaded with 1 out, you were better off just going against those guys and trying to get the outs and trying to get a force out at home. And then obviously Bobby Witt Jr. made us pay, getting that big triple and ended up scoring, the game-winning run and ended up winning 10-9. So I feel it's a little bit of the bullpen and a little bit of not having Andres Munoz, but most of all, Scott Service. You make these boneheaded decisions, and there's no guarantee that we still would have won if we would have went against those batters. It's very possible that the Royals would have got a hit with a Pasquantino and maybe would have got a hit with Salvador Perez, but just to intentionally walk, two players to make it bases loaded with one out was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I get it. You don't really believe in Stanek and whatnot, but again, strategy is very important in baseball, and Scott Service with those dumbass moves, he has lost us at least 5 games this year by pulling that bullshit at the end of the game. I would rather just, let the game play out, and then if we lose, there's no bitching or complaining or griping, but if you're going to do a questionable move late, what can you say? But again, there we go. First pitch of J.P. Crawford. Back. Gone. There we go. 1-0 Mariners. Hell yeah. Was not expecting JP to go yard on the very first pitch of the game, but here we go, baby. Bring that electricity, bring that fire. No guarantee we win this game either, but that's a hell of a start. JP Crawford right down the middle, exit velo 102.4. Let's go. Projected distance 403. Let's get it. Hell yeah. 1-0 Mariners. Next up, third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Rojas goes on the first pitch as well. Popped up a mile, should be a routine play. There we go. His spell went away. Next up, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. I don't think anyone anticipates a home run on the very first pitch of the game. That definitely caught me off guard a little bit, but it is what it is. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's get to 100 and donos, and let's make sure we're smashing that like button. I know the likes and the people in the stream might be a little limited because it's an early afternoon game, but let's try to get to 20 to 30 likes and 100 and donos on every single stream. 30 to 40 likes is really what we've been pushing lately. 30 to 50, actually, if we're being honest, and then we're going to try to see if we can get the goal on the donos. Let's go. Julio chops that one foul. One-two pitch to Julio, fouls that one back. Let's go, baby. Career versus Alec Marsh, 6 for 9 and a home run for Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. But honestly, Virginia, when we big strikeout there on Julio, nice K there for Marsh. But even if we didn't intentionally walk those two guys, the way that momentum was kind of flowing, and if you watch Stanek pitch, he was actually pitching like a foot into the dirt before Cal could even get the baseball. So if you got a guy that lost control and he can't even get it to the catcher's mitt, and he's throwing 100 miles an hour, but it's wild, right? And then you guys are starting to get that Uncle Mo and that momentum, regardless if we, intentionally walk those two batters or not. Chances are, I think we would have lost that game either way. Is there a slight chance that we would have won that game? Yes, maybe 10%. But it just felt like the momentum was shifting that direction, but it didn't help us by doing that dumbass move. But you guys earned it. You guys were down 7-0, and you fought back, and you never gave up, and you ended up winning 10-9. Something similar like this happened to us in 2021 a couple years ago, where you guys scored something crazy like 11 runs in like the 6th or 7th inning a couple years ago, and then you guys ended up coming back when we had a very similar start where we took a big lead on you guys, and then you guys fought back late. So deja vu, I guess. You guys are a very talented team. I have nothing bad to say. You guys are obviously a small market team like Seattle. So anytime you get a small market team that has success, it's kind of exciting. Again, we're going to be rivals, and we're going to have to go against each other in the playoffs, you would assume, at some point or another. But again, I got nothing but love and respect for Bobby Witt Jr. and the KC Royals. 1-2 pitch to Cal Raleigh, popped up. That one goes out of play. Top of the first, 1-0 Seattle. First pitch home run from J.P. Crawford. Let's go. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And we had a late scratch in the lineup with Ty France, obviously getting a lot of hit-by pitches. A little bit sore ankle, a little bit sore, so they made a scratch for him, and they moved Luke Raley to first base, I believe, for the first time this year in 2024, and then implemented Ryan Bliss in the lineup for France. So we'll see how that works out. I would rather have, I think, Ty France in the lineup than not, but again, if you're a little sore and you're trying to get right, I get it. And usually Ty France is an everyday player at first, so every once in a while you got to give a guy a break, so I get it. Let's go. 1-2 pitch from Marsh to Raleigh. Pitch is inside, 2-2 count. And at least, for the Royals fans, you got a superstar. You had your run with the World Series, went to back-to-back, then kind of, went for a drought, kind of like Seattle for a few years. But then, obviously, getting Bobby Witt Jr. changes everything. When you can end up getting one of the top 10 baseball players in the majors on your roster, and you can see him blossom and develop in front of your very eyes, there is no question and no doubt if Bobby doesn't get injured, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's how good he is. He can hit for average. He can hit for power. He's got great speed. He's a great leader. Nothing bad to say on that end. Big swing and a miss. Got him. Big strikeout on Cal Raleigh. Nice job by Marsh. Last time we played Alec Marsh, as I looked at my notes, he was 3-0 with an ERA of slightly over 2, and now he's 4-3 with a 3.76 ERA. So hasn't been as good as he was initially to open the season when the Mariners played at home against the Royals. But it shows you, even though the record might not be that great, only a game above 500, a lot of Mariner pitchers are about 500 right now as well. His ERA went up slightly to 3.76, but that was a decent inning for him besides giving up the home run on the first pitch to J.P. Crawford. 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 earned run. First pitch to for J.P. Crawford for the homer. No walks, 2 Ks. Pretty damn well. All right, Alec, I see you. Next up for the Kansas City Royals in the bottom of the first inning, third baseman Michael Garcia. Batting second, playing shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. And batting third, first baseman Vinny Pisquantino. Let's go. Try to get 10 likes within the first hour, and then we'll try to pick up the other 10 to 20 likes for the rest of the matchup. So if you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Let's try to hit these goals, and it'll definitely help us with the algorithm. So we got 13 people watching on the YouTube side, but we only have a couple people that have smashed that like button. So do your boy a solid and take 1 second, smash that like button, and then get back to the broadcast. We need 4 more to get to 10. Let's get it. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 5-6 record, ERA of 2.99, Luis Castillo. And it seems like all the players, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, they're all kind of hovering around 500. Sometimes they play well, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're in the zone, sometimes they're terrible. Sometimes they get 8 to 10 Ks and they get no run support and they end up losing. So again, we have to have everything kind of come together so that way that these star pitchers can have an above 500 record. We have too much talent, on this roster to have a lot of these starters being floating around 500 or a game below 500 like Luis Castillo, 5-6 record. And I'm not saying that Luis Castillo should be 10-1 right now or anything like that. But, if you're 5-6, he should be at least 6-5 or 7-4, you would think. But again, run support doesn't always help out, the Seattle Mariner pitchers, since we are a bottom 10 hitting team. We don't really hit a whole lot of home runs. And every once in a while, we'll have an explosion of runs like yesterday, 7 runs in the first inning. But there's many games this year where we have a hard time scoring 1, 2, or even 3 runs total for the game. The magic number for the Mariners today, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. We hit that. We usually win 90% of the time, 90 to 95%. But if we don't, we typically lose 90 to 95% of the time, regardless who's on the mound, unless it's Brian Wu. Big facts. 6 starts for Brian Wu, 3-0 record, ERA of 1. Besides him, everyone else is a crapshoot. Oh, nice little bloop single there. Michael Garcia getting it started. Next up for the Kansas City Royals, shortstop, first ballot Hall of Famer, Bobby Witt Jr. Eric in the building, what's good? Throw to second, safe. Nice stolen bag. $15 for $15 for Garcia for stolen bags. Nice percentage. My goodness. Good jump on that, too. And Cal has been much better, obviously throwing guys out this year compared to last year. And he usually doesn't have too many people, end up safe at second. But again, that was a nice jump by Michael Garcia. 0-1 pitch to Bobby Witt Jr. from Luis Castillo. Bobby Witt batting .323, 11 home runs and 47 ribbies. Exactly what you would want from an all-star Hall of Fame type of player. I wish one day Julio could have that type of consistency. And again, when I ended up getting my Julio foul ball in his rookie year, I specifically chose the Royals game to go to because I wanted to watch Bobby Witt Jr., obviously in his rookie season, and he was magical. Season versus the Mariners, .267 average, 0 home runs and 3 ribbies, but some key hits and big plays yesterday out of Bobby. Brendan in the building, what's good? Chopper. Throw to first. Got him. And Bobby's got very deceptive speed. When you look at him, he doesn't look like a guy that's a burner, that is going to run a 40 in like 4.2, but he does. Like, the guy has got so much speed for a guy that's a little bit taller. Again, he runs like a guy that you would think that would be like Ichiro's size, someone a little bit smaller, or like a JP, right? Bobby's got that long stride, good speed, and a lot of times he'll run out plays at first just based off hustle, and I really respect that. Next up for the Royals, at first base, Vinny Pasquantino. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Mariners, runner at second, 1 away. And if you're just tuning in, first pitch to J.P. Crawford was homered to right center, 403 feet. That's giving us the 1-0 lead. Throw to second to keep Michael Garcia honest. He is safe. Go, Louise. We need the good Louise today, otherwise we're going to get robbed. And if we don't win today, the Royals more than likely will sweep us. I'm not saying that George Kirby's going to be bad tomorrow. His last start against the A's, he had 9 Ks, but he had to get bailed out, by the Mariners, by the hitters and whatnot. Oh, just foul. Thank God. And again, we play early tomorrow at like 11 in the morning, so. Homer, single, double, almost had a triple. Wow. Bryce wheeling and dealing. Phillies are very hot. Nice to see, because normally they're not very good at the beginning of the year and they get hot late. And it's like the first time in like 10 years that they've actually been good to start off the season, like elite. Popped up, Rojas in foul territory, 2 away. Not everyone is healthy, though, playing in that game. Is Soto out? Soto is out, though, right? So they're just going to have Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, and then it'll be Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, but no Soto, correct? That kind of takes a little bit of the thunder out of the matchup. Next up, not Julio Rodriguez, but I see your defense. You know who it is. Salvador Perez. But Julio, we will need you on defense, baby. No fly zone. Yeah, we got the easiest schedule the rest of the way, but again, we got a few really tough opponents this month. We got the Royals, right? We got the Twins. I believe we got the Guardians and then the Rangers. So, and then we got the White Sox next after this series is over on Monday. So we have a good opportunity to win 3 or 4, possibly 3 out of 4, or sweep the White Sox. And we're going to need to make up for this series, because if we lose here, we're probably going to get swept. So, pitch is inside, 2-1 count. Another 300 hitter for the Royals, batting .305, 10 homers and 41 ribbies. I wish I knew what it was like to have a 300 hitter. The Mariners have 0. Salvador Perez, nice hit all the way to left field. That's going to bring in a run. Nice ERA. Woo! Unbelievable. Salvador Perez, nice RBI. 1-1, we're knotted up. That's why you got to make sure you always pay attention to Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez. Next up, left fielder MJ Melendez. And I was even saying this at the beginning of the year. I'm not really sold on Luis Castillo. George Kirby's got a knee issue. Bryce Miller and Logan Gilbert, at times can be hot, but other times terrible. Again, the only pitcher that has been electric all year since the injury is Brian Wu. If it's anybody but Brian Wu, there's a good chance you might be able to get the dub, because all the other pitchers are about 500 record-wise. You would think they would have a better record based on, everyone saying how great our pitching staff is, which it is a great staff. Not many teams have a top 5 rotation like us. But again, at the end of the day, it comes down to wins and execution. And a lot of times, these guys will be hot for a little bit, and then they fade as the game goes on. Maybe good within the first couple innings, and then all of a sudden we get to the 5th and the 6th, and then they pretty much just lose it. Pitch is high, out of the zone, 3-0 count. But I can already tell this isn't going to be an 8 to 10K Luis Castillo performance. It's probably going to be 6 Ks or less, and he might get pulled, before the 6th inning, but they'll probably just force him to go all 6 because our bullpen is stinky bad. Pitch is in the zone for a strike, 3-1 count. MJ Melendez, a hero yesterday, robbing a home run, 3-run blast, making some big plays. I see you. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Full count, 3-2. Batting only .071 against the Mariners, but had a big home run yesterday, and that made up for it. 167 average overall for MJ Melendez. That one back, 3-2. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Let's get to 20 likes, and then we'll shift to 30, and let's get to 100 donos, baby. 3-2 pitch from Castillo. Oh, he called time. That was very late. Hopefully we'll get some goats to come through to show some love. Three-two pitch. Got him. There we go. First strikeout for Luis Castillo. Don't think there's going to be very many, probably 5 or 6 total, but there's the first one. We'll take it. He gives up a run, just like Alec Marsh, but hell, it's 1-1. It's going to be a good game. Let's get it. See who's due up for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners in the 5-hole, playing first base for Ty France with a late scratch before the game started, Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. See how he does at first base. He normally doesn't play that position, so hopefully no errors. Batting in the 6th hole, batting second this inning, DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver. And batting third in the 7th hole, left fielder, it's Demo Dylan Moore. Okay, let's take a look at the pitching numbers here early on. So Alec March, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, no walks, 2 Ks. Nice job. Only giving up the home run to J.P. Crawford. And then with Luis Castillo, similar, except no home run, but gave up a run. 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 1 K. Let's go. You got to get locked and loaded. Let's go, Luke. We're going to need you, baby. Give us some production here at first base. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. And if you do got a Twitter/X account, do your boy a solid and like and retweet the stream. It'll help us get more people here in the building. Sarah, I appreciate you for doing that already. Let's go. On the edge, there for a ball. 1-0 count to Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. Chopper towards first base, foul. Count is 1-1. A little bit of a muggy day, around 80 degrees here in Oregon. Nothing too crazy. Already went for a long walk with Paisley this morning, and after the game is over, we'll try to get another one in. Pitch is inside in the zone for a strike. 1-2 count. Luke Raley, career versus Alec Marsh, 2 for 5. And a lot of those opportunities, obviously, were more than likely from earlier this year, since he was on the Tampa Bay Rays where we made the trade for Jose Caballero. Season versus the Royals, Luke Raley batting .500, 2 home runs and 5 ribbies, doing some damage in Seattle. Hopefully he can bring that magic here to KC and to Kaufman. Pitches inside, 3-2 count. Go, Luke. Yeah, I think the Royals and the Mariners are kind of in the same spot. We're both really good, but we're still missing pieces. You know, like I said, the Orioles and the Yankees, if they don't have any major injuries, more than likely those teams would be able to beat teams like us. But if we get hot at the right time, I think that we could compete. Or if we make a move at the trade deadline, Royals or Mariners, maybe that could be the edge, to be on the same level as them. Again, and Yankees hitting has been great, but what might cost them is pitching late and injuries. And then with the Orioles, they're just young and having fun. So anything is possible in the American League, right? You got the Rangers, you got the Mariners, you got the Yankees, you got the Orioles, and then a 3-headed horse in the Central with the Royals, the Guardians, and the Twins. But realistically, it's going to be one of those 7 teams that's going to represent the American League. I don't think there's any team that I didn't mention that has a chance. Those are the teams. And then obviously in the National League, right, you got the Braves, you got the Dodgers, you got the Phillies, right, and then maybe the Cubs and the Brewers, and then we'll see if there's another team that emerges out of those, maybe 5 teams that are over there in the National League. Odin in the building, what's good? I'm going to be doing the WWE NXT pay-per-view tomorrow. Are you going to be available to come hang out tomorrow? Because the Mariners are going to be on tomorrow at 11 a.m. So I'm just going to watch it with Paisley, and then I'm going to watch NASCAR Cup Series, which I believe is at 12:30. Odin with the like and the share on the Twitter/X. Thank you so much. But I figured that it would be a good chance to do another wrestling pay-per-view before next weekend. Big swing and a miss. Got him. Garver, sit down. Nice pitch by Marsh. Give Alec some flowers and some love for that nice pitch. Nice K. Next up, it's Demo Dylan Moore. We got the NASCAR Cup Series at Sonoma tomorrow at 12:30. So I'll be double dipping. I'll be watching the Mariners. I'll be watching NASCAR Cup Series. And then once it's all over, then I'll start obviously prepping for WWE NXT TakeOver. Pitches outside, 2-0 count. Oh, you're okay. I really do appreciate you, dropping a tenner, even though that you weren't in the building. Any dollar amount will help. Like I said, I got a few bills that are just right around the corner. I just had to get Paisley's dog food, which was $80. And again, when you're getting a majority of your donos on the super chat and not through Venmo or Cash App, as of late, it definitely helps more than you know. Popped up. Demo Ismail's got it. There we go. 3 up and 3 down. Very quick inning for the Royals. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning. We're still knotted up at 1. But I feel like the WWE NXT TakeOver pay-per-view should be pretty good. It won't be as good as necessarily the WWE pay-per-view the following weekend, where we're going to go to Drew McIntyre's hometown, and I'm very excited about that. But I figured, hey, the other 2 things are going to be on kind of early. Doing one around 5 p.m. Pacific is a little bit better time for most people. They have all their errands or church or whatever activities, laundry, all that shit that people need to do typically on Sundays. And so at 5 o'clock, which will be 7 Central, 8 Eastern, that's a little bit better of a window just to be able to hang out for just a couple hours and have some fun as we transition going into the work week, obviously Monday through Friday next week. So that's what we'll be doing. So we'll be doing this. I'll be rooting the Mariners on tomorrow at 11 a.m., watching NASCAR Cup Series Sonoma at 12:30, and then we will be doing WWE NXT TakeOver at 5 p.m. Pacific live stream tomorrow. Yeah, I only caught a little bit of SmackDown. Unfortunately, just with my schedule and everything that I got going on, I try to maybe I should start recording it. I got a DVR in the living room and whatnot, but maybe I should just start recording Raws and SmackDowns and NXT takeovers or NXT, obviously, the show, during the week, and then just trying to catch up on it, when I have the free time. But I only saw a little bit as well. Yeah, I like the crossover with the TNA, and I'm not sure if we're ever going to get a WWE AEW crossover because they're the main rivals with each other, just like, WCW and WWF back in the day. There's a reason why they didn't cross over. You're going to get guys, their contracts are up, that'll jump ship, but, you're probably going to get WWE to have a partnership with everyone but them. I would be very skeptical, if we ever end up getting a crossover event, unless we get like an invasion thing where they end up invading the other program. But obviously it's all, written in the details and they agree to it, both of them. But I'm not sure if I see that in the foreseeable future. Maybe down the road, but not soon. Popped up, 1 away. Nice little pop up there by Velasquez, 1 away. Bottom of the second, 1-1, Mariners and Royals. Next up, right fielder, the former Mariner, Adam Frazier. Pitch is high and out of the zone, but called strike to Frazier, 0-1 count. Well, I think it's not only Tony Khan. I also think it's on, TKO and all of them over there, I think it's mutual that they don't want to work with each other. They're trying to bury each other or trying to compete, so. But the thing is, if they ended up having a crossover like that, who is it going to benefit more? AEW or WWE? And the answer is AEW, and that's why WWE ain't going to do it, Because again, it's going to put AEW in a different type of light if they do the crossover, right? Instead of being the second promotion in the business, right? WWE doesn't really have a whole lot to gain, besides just you understanding like what talent is on that other side. But then if they end up doing well, then it might take eyes away from WWE. So if you have to think about it like that, they want to be able to have all the eyes on WWE. Whether they say, well, you can watch both, be a fan of both, but in reality, they want to own the market. They don't want the WWE fans, watching other promotions. They want them just watching WWE. So I think that's a big thing, I think with Khan, if they were down to do it, of course, I think he would be on board, because then that would put more eyes on his product. And then he would get more ratings and more people would jump ship, not completely, but some of the eyes would shift and watch both. And obviously that doesn't do WWE any benefit, right? Chad Gable. Hopefully he ends up re-signing with WWE. It seems like, some of the AEW wrestlers in certain situations might get paid more. They get their valet cars and hotels paid for, and that's something that Vince and the old regime never really did. So there's going to be some perks, there, but we know WWE's product is fantastic right now. Oh, Frazier, back, come on! 2-run jack by Adam Frazier, the former Mariner. Uh-oh. Nice job, Adam. Castillo, boo. Overrated, boo. Nice job, Adam. Next up, second baseman, Nick Lofton. 2-1 Royals. And I can already tell, with these pitchers, Castillo, Kirby, Miller, and Gilbert, I watch every single game. And I can tell with body language and how they actually, their shoulder shrugs and their attitude, and their just kind of aura and their vibe. I can already tell, within the first inning if it's going to be a good outing or not, for our team, at least on the mound. And again, I have not a whole lot of confidence in Castillo, Gilbert, Miller, or Kirby, which is kind of wild to say because they are so talented. But again, if your name isn't Brian Wu, I ain't fucking with you, right? 2-1 Kansas City. And again, if we don't have a good performance out of Castillo and we don't get 5 runs or 7 to 10 hits, we're going to lose, and we'll probably lose tomorrow at 11 a.m., even with Kirby on the mound. I don't want to get swept and lose 3 games to the Royals. Again, I feel that we're very evenly matched, but again, we don't have our starting closer. Ty France is out. Our bullpen is kind of stinky as of late. Starting pitching has been a little suspect, and we're a bottom 10 hitting team. So not a lot to be able to get excited about. Hell, we got 7 runs in the first inning and we couldn't even win yesterday. So that one fouled off Cal Raleigh's face. Hopefully he's okay. Shifted his mask over about 5 inches. What a tough son of a bitch there. Daniel in the building. What's good, brother? Bottom of the second, 2-1 Royals. And the Royals are fun to watch. They're not I like their jersey colors. I like the energy that they have. There we go. At least we got Nick Lofton there. There we go. Nice job, Louise. Probably won't see Mariner Moose come out with too many Ks like this. I'm predicting probably 5 or 6. There's no way in hell he's getting 8, 9, or 10. It's not happening. I don't see it. I'd be very shocked if it happens. Because normally when guys like Castillo, Miller, Kirby, and Gilbert are hot, they'll get 2 Ks, within the first inning, sometimes even, retiring the side, or they end up getting like 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and then they're already at 6 by the time that they're going into the 4th inning, and then you're on pace for like 10 to 12. But if you're not doing that, not happening. Julio running there, charging to the mound. There we go. No fly zone. End of the second inning, 2-1 Royals. And if you're just tuning in to the matchup, started off with the first pitch of the game to J.P. Crawford with a solo dinger to give us that 1-0 lead. Then Salvador Perez for the Kansas City Royals side in the bottom of the first. He said, let me get in on this action. Doesn't hit a homer, but singled to left, and then Michael Garcia scored. That ended up making it 1-1. And then just recently here, within the last couple minutes, in the bottom of the second, Adam Frazier, the former Mariner, scored 364 feet, approximately 2-1 Kansas City. Let's see who's up here in the top of the third for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, playing right field, Dominic in the zone, can zone. Batting second in the 9-hole, second baseman Ryan Bliss hit his first career home run in the majors yesterday. Congratulations, Ryan. And batting third, 1-for-1 with a run and an RBI, hit a solo shot off the first pitch strike. The first pitch of the game, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things a lot of us go through on the daily or have in the past. So if you feel like you're slipping a little bit, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. Maybe eat a little bit less fast food, make a home-cooked meal, exercise, listen to music, hang out with friends. Make sure you're making these minor adjustments, and it'll help you get out of the darkness a lot quicker and help you win the day. Big facts. Let's go. Edgar in the building. What's good? I saw your message as I was ending the stream yesterday. He's like, throw up the S chain. I got it, man. I got it. And let's try to get to 20 to 30 likes, 100 in donos. Let's get it, baby. 1-0 pitch to Dominic Canzone. Pitch is inside. 2-0 count. We need 2 more people to smash the like button to get to 10. 1 more person. So we got 14 people on the YouTube side and then about 8 or 9 on the Twitter/X side, and hopefully the viewership will go up if the game gets very close towards the end of the game. Try to get there. 1 more like to get to 10. There's 5 people that are in the room that haven't smashed the like button just yet. So if you are watching, hit that like button for your boy. It'll help us in the algorithm as well as the metrics. Yeah, the college football game will be good. Obviously, the gameplay will be much faster than Madden. And again, incorporating things like Mo Bamba and like some of the music that is associated with college football will be very cool to see. And I think it's going to play very well. Again, we haven't had a college football game through EA Sports in over 10 years. So if you are a fan of the series, I mean, shit, I used to play them on PlayStation and PlayStation 2. So, again, the last time we had one, I think was 14. So it's been quite some time, and I think it's going to sell very well. Like I said, there's a cult-like following for Madden, as well as 2K, as well as Grand Theft Auto, as we know, right? And I think with the college, football game, there will be a cult-like following for that as well, since we haven't had one in many, many years. I mean, shit, I still played the PlayStation 2 version from, I don't even know, like 2011, 2010. So that shows you. Top of the third, 2-1 Royals. 2-2 count to Dominic Canzone. I mean, they got chains that you can get, pretty much for every team that's out there. Pitch right down the middle, struck him out looking. But again, the only crappy thing is like the difference is if the Oregon Duck ones that I get through Collegiate Art Design are actually metal. And he's got like a metal shop and then, uses the lasers, and they're pretty solid. Also, my NWSF custom chain, it's metal. It's heavy. It weighs like 5 to 10 pounds when it's on your neck. The Oregon Duck one weighs, it feels like, a little bit of weight to it. But with the ones that I'm wearing now, like the Seattle Mariner ones and some of the NFL ones, all it is foam. You guys can't tell because I just, put it up on the screen. But it's kind of cheaply made, to be honest. If it was metal, that's what I would prefer, even if I had to pay a little bit more money, to have something that's a little bit more secure and it's a little bit more substance. But it's just foam. So if you end up wearing it and you get drunk or you kind of fuck around with it a little bit, I mean, you can rip it in half very easily. So you have to be very, very careful with a lot of the logos because all it is foam. Some of them are 2-sided. Some of them are just 1-sided. Ryan Bliss with the K, 2 away. So, but even though that it's foam, with the chain, they still run about $30 to $40, for it. But it's a cool thing to be able to have as long as you take care of it. So. Like I said, I got an MLB All-Star one that I haven't even wore yet. That's still in the plastic, obviously from the All-Star game in Seattle last year, but I'll probably bust it out for the MLB All-Star game this season. But they are cool. I just wish they were a little bit, better quality as far as the logo is concerned. Bottom of the third, 2-1 Royals with 2 outs. Dominic Canzone, Ryan Bliss. Nothing to add to the totals just yet. Next up in the box, shortstop J.P. Crawford. 11th career leadoff home run in his career just a few minutes ago. Let's go, JP. Keep it moving, baby. 1-1 pitch from Marsh to Crawford. Chops that one foul towards the outfield and right. 1-2 count. Come on, JP. One-two pitch, J.P. Crawford, little dribbler, throw to first, 3 up and 3 down. Good inning there for the Kansas City Royals. Next up for the Royals, 1 for 1 with a run, third baseman Michael Garcia. Batting second, 0 for 1, shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. And batting third, 0 for 1, first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. I ended up watching NBA Finals game number 1, Boston winning at home, big. Wasn't surprised. You know, I still think the Dallas Mavericks are going to have a chance to win it all. You know, obviously home court advantage, especially with the Boston crowd. You know, they willed them to that victory. But like I mentioned, you know, I predicted that Boston was going to win game 1. They probably will win game 2 as well, just because of that home crowd. But what was the X factor? Was it Tatum? Was it Brown? Was it Luka? Was it Kyrie? No, it wasn't. It's exactly what I said, is whoever's role players would play better, those are going to be the teams that end up taking advantage. And Kristaps Porzingis ended up having himself a game, and that was the difference. So if you can end up having a big number 3, number 4 option, that's usually going to be the difference in that particular matchup. And we'll see if Dallas can end up coming back. But I could definitely see that series still going 6 or 7 games. But definitely not the best performance out of Dallas. And Boston used every single fan's energy in that building to be able to get that dub, and they obviously pulled away early in the first half, and they never looked back. Dallas had no chance in that game. They looked very flat, but again, I don't think they anticipated Porzingis playing so well. You know, I don't think anybody did. So the real question is who's winning today? Florida Panthers in game number 1 in the Stanley Cup Finals, or is it going to be the Edmonton Oilers? That's the question. Florida is at home. That's why I feel with the NBA, like, you know, like the regular season is not that entertaining. And then even when we go to the playoffs, the games aren't close. It's like all blowouts. You know, it's like you want it to be like you don't really know who's going to win. And you want it to kind of come down to like a couple buckets, you know, maybe like 6 points or less. But unfortunately, in this NBA, you know, season, you know, it's like, I don't know. It's just not very entertaining. Like it's like, every 3 to 4 games, there's an entertaining game, but there's a lot of this bullshit that's kind of mixed in between. At least on the Stanley Cup side, you know, and obviously for the NHL side, a lot of the matchups are very close, and you don't really know what's going to happen. A lot of games are going 6-7 games, and a lot of games get decided at the very, very end or like overtime. So big swing and a miss. Nice K by Castillo. So we'll see how it goes. But I could definitely see that series going 6 or 7 games as well. Yeah, I would assume Florida will win tonight as well at home. Sergei Bobrovsky, he's special. Michael Garcia, that was an easy out for us. Next up, Bobby Witt Jr. First pitch, we jammed him. Throw to first. There we go. 2 away. Come on, Castillo. Get as close to 6 or 7 Ks as possible. We're going to need it. Next up for the Royals, first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be, Kachuk, Reinhardt, Sergei Bobrovsky, obviously for, the goaltending, responsibilities. And then Hyman and Connor McDavid. Whatever superstars are going to step up the most, those are going to be the ones that are going to be able to extend things. So, and, Skinner is pretty good this year too. 36 wins, 16 losses. Bobrovsky, 36 wins, 17 losses. So they're right there. Save percentage is slightly higher for Sergei for Florida, but just barely. So whoever ends up playing better in net will probably end up winning it all. So if Skinner ends up playing out of his mind, right, and then you get Connor McDavid and Hyman that will help with goals and assists, Edmonton has a chance. They could win it in 6 or 7. But I think that, Florida, if you're a betting's man, Florida would probably be the team to bet on. Unless there's some kind of injury that happens, halfway through the series. Pasquantino popped up. Wow, Julio and Dominic Canzone almost ran into each other in the outfield. Come on, guys, communicate. End of the 3rd inning, 2-1 Kansas City. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning. See who's up here. Take a look at the pitching numbers here for Alec Marsh and Luis Castillo. All right, Alec Marsh, 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, no walks, 6 Ks. Solid. Luis Castillo, not so much. Luis Castillo, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, 3 Ks. Doubling up the performance from Marsh to Castillo. Luis Castillo might be a little overrated. I still like him, but again, he's definitely not the number 1. We need all our pitchers to start to step up, especially after the All-Star break. Next up, for the Mariners in the top of the 4th inning, 0 for 1, third baseman Hollywood Josh Rojas. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go M. We still need to get double digits. There we go. We're at 10. We need 10 more to get to 20. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. We got 25 people watching. 10 more to go. Pitches inside to Hollywood Josh Rojas in the top of the 4th, 1-0 count. Royals up 2-1 on Seattle after a crazy comeback yesterday, after the Mariners scored 7 runs in the 1st inning and ended up losing the game 10-9 to the Kansas City Royals. Both of these teams are playoff teams. Both of these teams have a great chance to win their respective divisions, and I wouldn't be shocked if we play each other in the playoffs this year at some point or another. Pitches outside, 2-1 count. Two-1 pitch to Hollywood Rojas, fouls that one towards third base, 2-2 count. Two pitch to Rojas. Popped up. Should be an easy routine play for Kyle Isbell in center field. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up, baby. We need you. You're very streaky, Julio. Let's go. Bring that electricity, baby. We need it. Pitches outside, 1-0 count. Top of the fourth, 2-1, Kansas City. One 0 pitch. Julio chops that one foul, 1-1 count. One pitch. Pitch is high from Marsh to Julio. 2-1 count. Come on, Julio. Pitch is outside. 3-1 count. Actually showing oh wow, did they call that a strike? Unbelievable. Nowhere near being a strike. 2-2 count. Season versus the Royals, Julio's batting .375, but no homers and no ribbies. Lots of singles. Count is full, 3-2. Come on, Julio. I wish Julio was as reliable as Bobby Witt Jr. Not on the same stratosphere, though, unfortunately. Three-two pitch to Julio. Struck him out. Nice pitch by Marsh. We'll give him some love. Julio strikes out more than any fucking superstar on planet Earth. Nice job by Marsh. 3.2 innings pitch, 1 hit, 1 earned run, no walks, 7 Ks. 1 hitter. Gosh, we need some bats, baby. We have talented players, but we just can't, string along like hits, consecutively. It's very rare that we can pull off like 3 consecutive batters, a hit, and a hit. It just doesn't happen. Very, very rare. We could just figure out how to hit, instead of being a bottom 10 hitting team, we could be a top 15 hitting team. Even if we were ranked 15 out of 30, we would have probably 5 or 6 more wins right now than we do. We'll see if we're a buyer at the trade deadline. Pitch is on the corner for a strike, which was a ball. 1-1 count. One pitch to Cal. Pitch is inside, 2-1 count. Cal's batting average is dipping now below 200, 199. That's scary. 11 home runs and 33 ribbies. That part is good, but a lot of just pop-ups, strikeouts, ground outs. We need to have Cal find himself again. Got 5 home runs from the left side and then 6 home runs versus righties. Versus lefties, he's got 5, but he's only batting 143. Versus righties, he's doing a little bit better, batting 218 and 6 home runs. So he can hit, from the left or the right, but been a little cold as of late. Come on, Cal. Two pitch. Got him. 8 punch outs from Alec Marsh. I wish Luis Castillo could pitch like that. And George Kirby. And Bryce Miller. And Logan Gilbert. I know Brian Wu can. Nice job. Alec Marsh, what a day. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 0 walks, 8 Ks. And this is a guy that's a 4-3 record with a 3.76 ERA. Shit, we had an A's pitcher, right, that had an ERA of 7, right, who ended up having a shutout, had a no-hitter going into the 7th. So it shows you the struggles the Mariners have had this season, hitting and also striking out more than any team, not only this year, but we're pacing right now. We are the number 1 strikeout team out of any team that's played in the last 100 years. That's a problem. We need to solve that. But even with that being said, we're still first place. Just imagine if we could, fix some of those minor problems that we have, the strikeouts and the hitting, getting a better bullpen, a few more hitters. We could have a similar record to the Yankees and Orioles right now, or maybe even the Phillies if we had those things. So we're nowhere near being a complete team, but we're still balling. But we're not balling on the same level as the Kansas City Royals. Let's go to the bottom of this second. Bottom of the fourth. 2-1 Royals. See who's up here for KC. Due up for the Royals, 1-for-1 with the RBI catcher, the OG, Salvador Perez. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K, left fielder, MJ Melendez. And batting third, 0-for-1, DHing for the Royals, Nelson Velasquez. Scotty Mack in the building. What's good? Nine more likes to get to 20. Let's get it, baby. Demo all the way to the wall. What a catch. Wow. Salvador Perez almost hit a homer there. It looked like it was going to be a homer early. But Demo with that nice speed running that down. Good defense by Demo. Otherwise, that would have been probably a double or a triple. Nice job. One away. We got some good defenders out there in the outfield. Next up for the Royals, left fielder MJ Melendez made a home run, saving grab, hit a 3-run blast, and has been making plays as of late for the Royals. 1-0 pitch, chop foul, 1-1 count. Pitches outside, 2-1 count. Chopper towards first to Luke Raley. 2 away. Next up for the Royals, DHing for Kansas City, Nelson Velasquez. Bottom of the fourth, 2-1 KC. Yeah, Scotty Mack, that one definitely left a bad taste, I think, in Mariners fans' mouths. But again, Bobby Witt Jr. is a superstar. He's more consistent than Julio. Obviously, Stanek's pitching late was garbage. He couldn't even hit, the mitt of Cal Raleigh. He was, throwing it into the dirt about 2 feet in front of him, right? And if you have no control with Andres Munoz being injured and you have to have someone else in there, right, that's always going to be a problem. And then on top of that, Scott Service being a fucking idiot and intentionally walking, Pasquantino and Salvador Perez to give them bases loaded with 1 out was stupid, And again, him making boneheaded calls late in games has cost us like 5 wins this year. So Service is still a decent manager. I still think he's one of the top 15 managers in baseball. But goddamn, he makes some really fucked up, stupid-ass decisions, like bringing in the wrong pinch hitter, the wrong pinch runner, or doing something stupid, like intentionally walking 2 guys to give them bases loaded. I'm thinking that we're gonna get the force out at home. Stupid. But again, it is what it is. Sometimes he'll make a smart decision, but a lot of times he makes a very head-scratching, like, what the hell are you doing kind of move. But let's be honest, even if we didn't intentionally walk Pasquantino and Salvador Perez, based on the flow of the game, no access to Andres Munoz, our closer, Stanek being garbage, more than likely we were going to lose that game no matter what. But I would have rather had it play out where we pitched to those guys and then we can put the blame on Stanek, for blowing the game, instead of Service getting involved and making a dumbass move and then, ending up putting them in great position to win. And Bobby Witt Jr., what can you say? He's a superstar. Superstars make superstar plays, and that's what he did. End of the 4th inning, 2-1 Royals. But a couple years ago in like 2021, 2022, we had another similar outing, where we were up big, and then the Royals ended up scoring something crazy, like 11 runs in like the 6th inning, like 2-3 years ago. And we had a huge lead early on, and then the Royals came back and won. So it's almost like deja vu for whatever reason. That always happens when we play KC. Solid team. 4 Ks for Luis Castillo, 8 for Alec Marsh. It's going to be a long day. Come on, baby. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman, Luke Raley. Batting second in the order, DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver. And batting third, left fielder, Demo Dylan Moore. 0-1 pitch to Luke Raley. Pitch is inside, 1-1 count. Go Luke. One pitch. Chopped towards third base. Run, Luke! Luke Raley, at least he gave the effort running to first, but couldn't run fast enough. 1 away. Well, I like the effort, though. The thing that pisses me off more than anything is when I see guys just half-ass it to first base. You never know if the third baseman, second baseman, or shortstop has just a slight bobble, with the mitt or the baseball. You can run it out. But a lot of guys just give up on the play because they think they're already out no matter what. Unless you're a guy like Bobby Witt Jr. who doesn't care and just runs hard every single time. I wish the Mariners could do that. Next up, DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Go, Mitch. Pitch is outside, 1-1 count. Hopefully he doesn't get injured again and can have a very successful career. He stays healthy. You guys could be in the running in the division for either a wild card or a divisional win. But things have gotten a little bit more spicy. The Titans are dog shit, right? They're going to be bad. They'll be 4th place for who knows for how long, the next 10 years. And then you got a 3-team race with the Jags, the Texans, and the Colts. And obviously, on paper, it looks like maybe the Texans might be the best team out of the 3. Back, gone! Mitch Garver with a home run. There we go. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags, ended up winning the division or the Colts. You never know. Injuries could always happen to the Houston Texans, but obviously CJ Stroud getting Stephon Diggs and them continuing to improve, they're definitely on the up and up. Nice play by Mitch Garver. Way to bring that electricity, baby. Wasn't expecting you to do anything. And it looked like it was kind of hovering like it was going to go foul. And at the last minute, it went fair. Let's go. 2-2, Mariners and Royals. Fuck yes. Oh, now they're going to review it, acting like it wasn't a home run. Really? Are they reviewing it or what? Should be good. Okay, I don't know why they were talking about reviewing it. That was clearly a homer. Next up, it's Demo Dylan Moore. And again, we can't really hit really well. So we are going to need to lean on home runs, more often than not, unless we can get into a rally where we can go from the one batter and JP Crawford, go through the whole order and get back to him like we did in that first inning where we got 7 runs. But let's be honest, how often are the Mariners, as one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, number 1 strikeout team, can't get to 5 runs and 7 to 10 hits that often? How often are we really going to get like an explosion of runs, like 5, 6, 7 in an inning? Like maybe a couple times a season, not a lot. So we're going to have to definitely, lean on some homers. And thank God, Mitch Garver, a guy that has been struggling. We have been putting him at catcher, instead of DH once in a while to kind of give him some more playing time. And it seems like it's helping because he's starting to get a little bit hotter. And he's probably been the biggest disappointment up to a couple days ago out of the whole roster. So he's now starting to kind of prove himself. The weather's getting a little bit warmer, and it's nice to see him produce because fucking A, we need it. Nice job, Garv. Now we're knotted up here at 2. Let's go, Demo. Put the pressure on. homered twice in his last 3 games, but he's still probably the shittiest player, on the team, as far as the guys that are getting everyday reps. Polo was doing slightly better, but not by much. And he ended up getting injured, and that might have been a blessing in disguise because, bringing in both of those players have been kind of a disappointment up to this point. And the last couple days, it's been good for Garv, but prior to the last couple days, the Polo signing and the Garv signing was kind of if you're going to grade it from like A to F, it was probably like D for both. But at least Luke Raley for Jose Caballero was good. Dominic Canzone with a nice hit. There we go. Nice little bloop single past the second baseman. We'll take that. There we go. Nice job, Dom. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman, Ryan Bliss. Making Derek Jeter plays on defense and hitting his first home run in the majors last night in that first inning, Ryan Bliss. Let's go, Ryan. And Ryan Bliss wasn't even supposed to be playing today. But again, Ty France was a little sore, so they moved Luke Raley to first and brought in Ryan Bliss. Let's see if we can make him pay. There we go! Back-to-back hits. It's a miracle. There we go. Dominic Canzone at second, Ryan Bliss at first. And when you can get hits out of the 7, 8, and 9 hole, those are traditionally your worst hitters, right? Or guys that are young, don't have a whole lot of playing time under their belt. So if you can get production out of your 7, 8, and 9, that's a good sign for the Mariners. Let's go. Nice hit by Dom. Nice hit by Bliss. Solo shot by Garv. 6 hole, 7 hole, 8 hole, 9 hole. I like it. Let's go back to J.P. Crawford, who homered on the first pitch of the game in the top of the first. We're knotted up at 2. Another good game between the Royals and the Mariners. We're always going to have good games. Think about it. We're first place in the American League West. We're not a dog shit team anymore, right? We're 36-29. Okay. Kansas City Royals 38-26, and they're second place in their division behind the Guardians, but probably should be in first. But they'll be going back and forth with the Guardians, and then you got the Twins in third, and when they get hot, they'll be in the mix as well. I don't think the Twins are good enough to win the division. It's going to come down to the Royals or the Guardians. But if Minnesota gets hot, all 3 of them could be very close to each other record-wise. Very competitive division, just like the Central is in the National League. You got the Brewers and the Cubs, but then if the Cardinals get hot or some other team like the Pirates, you might have that third team. They may not be there all the time, like the Minnesota Twins typically are. It's going to be like usually 1 or 2 teams in the Central and the National League, and then you'll have a few of them kind of hovering below 500 unless they get hot. But you may have a third team, in the National League Central that can get hot to kind of challenge the Cubs and the Brew Crew. Pitch right down the middle to J.P. Crawford. 3-2 count. Top of the 5th, 2-2 Mariners and Royals. Mitch Garver with a solo dinger and back-to-back hits from Dominic Canzone and Ryan Bliss. It's like a miracle. I wish we could do that more often. Yeah! J.P. Crawford with a nice RBI. Dominic Canzone scores. Bang! 3-2 Mariners. Let's go. Nice job, JP. Great day for JP Crawford. Solo dinger and a nice RBI. Let's go, JP Crawford. Who's the man? You the man. Next up for the Mariners, third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Let's go, Hollywood. And Hollywood Josh Rojas was kind of like Jared Kelenic, one of the only players that was very hot for us. Kelenic was hot for the first maybe 50, 60 games, and then he kind of went on a downward spiral. Josh Rojas, kind of the same thing. First 30, 40 games, he was kind of the guy that was batting above 300, but it's been slowly kind of sliding a little bit, and we need him to go back up in the trajectory. Come on, baby. go, baby. 3-2 Mariners. And this is a must-win game for the Mariners because, again, we play in the morning tomorrow. Brian Wu isn't pitching, so that typically means that we're going to get our ass kicked. And it might get really, really ugly. Like, it could end up being a game where it's like 5-3, but it could also be one of those games where we lose like 10-1. And I'm not even joking. We are terrible in the mornings. Josh Rojas, he's frustrated. He was very hot at the beginning of the season, but he has been slumping in the last maybe 15 games. We need to get him back on track. But the damage is done, and we got a nice RBI there out of J.P. Crawford, and a nice job by who? Mitch Garver. Let's go. Mitch Garver, salute to you. Dominic Canzone, I see you. Ryan Bliss, I see you. And J.P. Crawford with that nice RBI. 3-2 Mariners. Let's go to the bottom of the fifth inning. See who is due up for the Royals. Next up for the Royals, 1-for-1 with a run and RBI. Hit a big dinger. Right fielder, the former Mariner, Adam Frazier. Batting second baseman, Nick Lofton. 0-for-1 with a K. And batting third in the 9-hole, 0-for-1, center fielder, Kyle Isbell. Let's go. We need 8 more likes, 7 more likes to get to 20. That's bare minimum. We have to make sure. We've been getting 30 to 50, but again, this is an afternoon game, so I know it's a little bit lighter here today. But if you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. It'll really help out the metrics and the algorithm and overall just the channel's performance. So 7 more before the game ends. Let's get that. Adam Frazier. Wow. Adam Frazier with a stand-up double. Wow. Frazier wheeling and dealing. It's because we don't have the space for it, you know, as far as like stadiums and whatnot. So it's like you got like the Portland Timbers for soccer. The Portland Trailblazers is the main team. And then obviously it's Ducks and Beavers, you know, if you're a college football fan, you know, for college sports, but no NFL team. We don't really have the space for it. That's why we have the Seattle Seahawks. You know, but it's funny because in Oregon, not every Oregonian is a Seahawk fan. You know, I would probably only say maybe 25% of Oregonians are Seahawk fans. You know, nice hit, Adam Frazier going home from Nick Lofton, and they just tied it up 3-3. And again, you know, no football team, college teams, Ducks and Beavers, Blazers, no professional hockey team. You know, again, they were thinking about maybe a professional hockey team at some point, or maybe trying to get the A's, but we don't really have the space, you know, for it necessarily for professional baseball. So once the Oakland A's ended up getting the deal with Vegas, then that dream kind of went out the window. But there still is like hope at one point or another that maybe there'll be a professional baseball team or NHL hockey team in the next, you know, 20, 30 years that might be able to come to Oregon. But, you know, it's mostly Blazer fans, Ducks, or Beavers, you know, as far as fandom. And then some are Seahawk fans, but there's a lot of Niner fans, Raider fans, Charger fans, and then fans of just any team, Bills, Chiefs, you know, Buccaneers, I mean, whatever you want. I mean, it's pretty much just like, you know, when you don't have a professional team in your state, right, then you're just going to have a bunch of people rooting for a bunch of their favorite teams and players. Like pretty much, I mean, you'll see jerseys of pretty much any superstar. You know, you go to a mall, you might see a CJ Stroud. You know, you might see a Josh Allen right next to him. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, maybe you see a Travis Kelce or like a Mahomes. So it's, you know, but if you're going to choose the team that probably gets represented a little bit higher, it would probably be the Seahawks, just because we're right next to each other. You know, 3-hour drive from, you know, here to Seattle. So but not everyone has Seahawk ties. But you'll probably get more Mariner fans in Oregon representing than Seahawk fans. Plus, we have a lot of strip clubs and like bars and wineries and breweries, and that might be part of it too. We don't necessarily have like the nightlife like LA or like New York or like Florida. But again, if you come here, and you're not responsible, right, and you have a lot of money, you could get yourself into some trouble. Like I said, there's like a lot of things here are very laid back. Dispensaries, breweries, wineries, strip clubs. Like, we have like more strip clubs per capita than any place in the United States. So it's like, keep Portland weird. We got a lot of, unique personalities here, a lot of food carts and whatnot, a lot of, diversity, black, white, Asian, Mexican, European. I mean, we got it all, but again, if you're not responsible and you got a lot of money, you could definitely get yourself into some trouble, here in Oregon. I mean, especially if you're like a professional athlete, and then you have no boundaries, you could definitely get into some serious trouble unless you have discipline. Pitches outside, 2-2 count to Michael Garcia. Bottom of the fifth, 3-3 Mariners and Royals. Adam Frazier having the game of his life against the former Seattle Mariner team. Michael Garcia batting .262 so far in 2024. 2-2 pitch, pitches outside, 3-2 count to Garcia. Good game so far. Yeah, Nike is there. I'm actually not too far from the Nike headquarters, probably 10 minutes away, 10, 15 minutes. So I told everybody years ago, he's not our number one. He's not the same pitcher that we traded for in Julio's rookie year. That year in 2022, he was good. But every start since that rookie year of coming over from the Reds to the Mariners, he hasn't really been that like effective. Like I said, he's not our number one, and again, if you look at him and George Kirby, and Bryce Miller and Logan Gilbert, you would probably say that George Kirby and Logan Gilbert are probably the best pitchers, and Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller, they're very like hit or miss, but again, when Logan Gilbert isn't in the zone, or if George Kirby has a little bit of a knee issue, then they go down to the same level as Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo, where once in a while they're really, really good, 8, 9, 10 Ks, but for a majority of the time they struggle. They're not really, and then if they're not doing their job, and then we're not hitting, well, no shit, we're losing. Can't pitch, can't hit, strike out the most, a shitty bullpen, and then our closer's injured. So, again, it's not like, I feel like the hype is like the name recognition. If you actually watch the games and you watch them pitch, a lot of the pitchers on the Mariners have a 500 record or below 500 record, and it's very underwhelming, except for our 5-hole pitcher, Brian Wu, who is our number one pitcher. And I've said that for a while. Like I said, it's not like I don't like Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, but I have to evaluate them on a game-in, game-out basis, and those guys aren't really that good. Do they still have the ability, to be able to get 8, 9, 10 Ks? Yes, but it's not like all of the pitchers for the Mariners are like 7-3, 8-2, 9-1, 6-4. Now, if we ever get to that type of point, then I'll be like, yes, the Mariners are the real deal. Maybe we have the best pitching staff in baseball. But until I start seeing the whole rotation, a couple games above 500, 7-5, 8-3, 9-2, things like that, they're very underwhelming. All they are is just big names that they don't produce, and then we don't hit. So that doesn't help us either. Like if we were a good hitting team, then we could help out the pitchers. But when they can't hit their spots and we can't hit, then how the hell are we supposed to win a game? Then we have to rely on home runs or just like luck, That's kind of the MO for the Mariners right now. So STL in the building. What's good, brother? Bobby Witt Jr. 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Bottom of the fifth, 3-3 Mariners and Royals. Another great game. Pitches outside, 1-1 count. But again, Brian Wu is our only good pitcher. He's had 6 starts. He's 3-0. His ERA is 1. He's got the aura and the vibe. You guys, if you watch baseball, you can look at the aura and the vibes of the pitcher. Their shoulders, their body language, the way they act in between pitches, and the way the delivery comes out of the hand of the baseball. And again, when I watch the Mariners starters, the only one I feel confident confident in based off swag and confidence is Brian Wu. Everyone else is like, they're hoping not to fuck up instead of like, I'm out here to dominate. That's the difference. You know, they're like, oh God, I hope I don't fuck this up. That's the mentality I feel that body language is showing for the other Mariner pitchers. Julio all the way to the warning track, tagged up, going to third base. Bobby Witt Jr. flies out to center, loft into third. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, we're knotted up at 3-3. I mean, I'm happy that we didn't trade away Logan Gilbert and Brian Wu. You know, those might be the 2 best pitchers right now, you know. But again, it's like you trade away those guys and get hitters, yeah, but then what happens with the other pitchers? Then you're fucked. So again, we just have to pray that these guys can get better as the hitting gets better. And then once everything comes together, then maybe we can end up making a deep run, ALDS, ALCS. But again, at this point, you know, the Mariners, you know, we might be like the 5th, 6th best team. You know, it's like you got the Orioles, you got the Yankees. I think we're better than the Rangers. And then I'd probably put the Guardians and the Royals ahead of us, and then us. And then after that, the Rangers and, you know, Twins and a few others. A fair ball by Pasquantino. That brings in another run. Luis Castillo, boo. And now he's going for another one. 2-run RBI. Pull him. Luis Castillo, overrated. I don't like bringing in guys from other teams either. I could have told you this was going to happen. See, I would rather have that have happened last night. Challenge the hitter, you know, instead of intentionally walking Pasquantino and Salvador Perez. But regardless, if we would have intentionally walked them or just went at them, that result that we just saw on that last play probably would have happened last night. We would have lost anyways. But, you know, again, if you don't have confidence in your pitchers, then sometimes shit happens, right? So that's probably why we ended up doing it. But we had Stanek, and again, our bullpen is very hit or miss as well. Sometimes they're awesome, and sometimes they just fucking are terrible. Like, I'm not a fan of Taylor Saucedo and a lot of these guys that we have in the bullpen. You know, again, I know he's like a local guy from the Pacific Northwest, but he fucking stinks. He's not good. You know, I get it. You know, being from the Pacific Northwest is one thing. I know Reflect likes him. But if you keep fucking up and giving up hits and runs and we keep losing because of it, how am I supposed to root for you? You know? Popped up, but the damage is done. End of the 5th inning, 5-3 Kansas City. Good inning there for the Royals. Lofton singled the right. Frazier scored to give him the 3-3 tie. And then Pasquantino doubled the right. Garcia and Lofton scored. And now we're down 5-3. But again, Luis Castillo, 5-6 record, ERA of 2.99. And a lot of the guys, you know, with Castillo and Kirby and Miller and Gilbert, they'll have an ERA. Most of them are at 4 or less, you know. But again, if all your records are 5-6, 4-4, I mean, that doesn't help us, especially if we're a shitty hitting team. We need those records to be better. We need you guys to be elite, and they're not, except for Brian Wu. So at least we have one really amazing pitcher. You know, Wu, Andres Munoz, they deserve to be in the All-Star game. Julio does not deserve it, but he'll probably make it if they put him in the home run derby, or it'll be a fan vote because he's what? Top 5 popular player. But he's not anywhere near being a top 5 player. You know, Bobby Witt Jr., he's playing like a top 5 player. Julio, not so much. But he is popular. But popularity doesn't give you wins. Big facts. And speaking of popularity, next up in the box in the top of the 6th inning, 0 for 2, 2Ks, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Good segue there. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2Ks, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. And batting third, first baseman Luke Raley. But it shows you how important it is to be able to get 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if you can't get that, it's very hard to come back. Alec March at 85 pitches. He's been great today. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 8 Ks. I mean, obviously giving up the 3 runs, JP Crawford with that solo dinger, but 8 K day, pretty solid. You know, I wish Luis Castillo could do something like that. But we're still in it. It's definitely very back and forth. And I'm hoping that we can end up getting close to tying this game. Julio, here we go. Finally. Hopefully we can tie this up 5-5 this inning, or at least get a run and have it 5-4. So that way when the starting pitchers go out, then it'll be like a 3-inning sprint to the finish line. And depending on whose pitching is the best, that's going to be the team that ends up winning here late. And obviously, if the Royals win, they'll probably win tomorrow and sweep us, which would not be good for us. We have to win at least one. Nice job, Julio. Next up, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's get to 20 likes. We got 32 people watching. I mean, if we're going to be a little underwhelming on the shares and the donos, let's at least get the 20 on the likes. All right, we're at 14 right now. We need 6 more people before the stream ends to hit that number. And hopefully we'll get a goat or two to come through. Make sure that we can at least get something on the board. Here we go. Back-to-back hits. Runners on the corners, and we have a good chance to tie this game up here. Runners on first and third, and they're probably going to have to pull Marsh now. See, this is the key moment where you pull a pitcher. You have no outs, you have 2 guys on, you pull the pitcher. But most managers are stupid, and they end up going 1 or 2 more batters after this. And then if you do that, the game is going to be 5-4 or 5-5. So if you're smart, you pull the pitcher right here. You don't wait. Now, is it possible that they can still get a double play and get out of this inning? Yes. But again, we'll see what happens here, but a smart manager would pull the pitcher here, and that's what they're going to do. I wish the Mariners had a smart manager. So there you go. Marsh goes out, and that's the tall tale sign. If you watch baseball enough, once you end up letting it get the bases loaded and that third hitter goes aboard or brings in a run, right, then you know you're fucked. Because then at that point it's 5-5, bases loaded, and then you got to bring in a guy that barely had a chance to warm up, and then maybe it ends up being 6-5, 7-5, and maybe you lose the game based on not pulling the trigger of getting that guy out of there. But once you have 2 guys on with no outs, it's a 6th inning, the guy is tired, he's losing his stuff, you pull him. I don't care who it is. It could be the best pitcher in baseball. You pull him. And the guys that they don't pull, if you notice, 9 times out of 10, those are the guys that end up getting roughed up for a big inning. And then they get pulled, and then they look at the scoreboard, and instead of being up 5-3, maybe they're down 6-5, and then it's tough to come back from that point. So, yeah, Julio last year, 40 stolen bags, 30 home runs, 30-30 club. I mean, at some point, we know that he has the ability, we would think, if he could be more patient in the box, to be in the 40-40 club. But he's nowhere near of pacing for 30 home runs. I mean, we'll be lucky if he gets to 15 to 20, you know, and that's being generous. Unless he goes on a run in the summertime, like he did, you know, when he ended up playing like a 4-game stretch where he had like 17, 18 hits. You know, I don't know if we're going to see anything like that. But if he can homer in back-to-back games, like 5 games straight, then maybe he can end up getting to like 25. But I really think that 15 to 20 is what he's going to be pacing for. Hell, he might not even get to 15. So 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, and 8 strikeouts and 87 pitches for Alec Marsh. Good outing for him, with all things considered. Sam Long is in the game now. Pitch is low, close to the dirt. 1-0 count. We got to take advantage of this inning. We got runners on the corners with no outs. Let's tie this up 5-5 this inning, baby. Let's go. Come on, Luke. Fouls that one out. Towards first base. 1-1 count. Go, Luke. One pitch. Pitch is high and outside. 2-1 count. 264 average, 6 home runs, and 16 ribbies for Luke Raley. Maybe the only positive move that we made in the offseason, trading him for Jose Caballero to the Tampa Bay Rays. But also, we've been getting some unexpected play out of guys like Dylan Moore, Hollywood Josh Rojas. So we've had certain guys step up that maybe we didn't think that they would. So, Polo and Garb have been a little bit of a failure, but again, we've had other guys step up that we probably didn't think that would. 2-2 pitch to Rayleigh. Pitch is low, out of the zone. Count is full. 3-2 count. Come on, Luke. Even if he doesn't swing, we can get bases loaded here. This would be good. Season with runners in scoring position. Luke Rayleigh, 371 average, 1 homer and 11 ribbies. He can do it. Let's go, Luke. 3-2 pitch. Chopped foul, barely. Count remains 3-2. Three-two pitch to Luke Rayleigh. Got him. Struck him out looking. Fuck. Right on the corner of the zone. Nice K there by Long. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, DHing for Seattle. 1 for 2 with a run, RBI and a K, and a home run today. Home run in the last 2 to 3 games. Mitch Garver. Let's go, Mitch. Let's go, Mitch. Ball 1 to Mitch Garver, 1-0 count. One for 2 with a solo home run earlier in the matchup. Exit velo 104.4. Low into the dirt, 2-0 count. Now, 30 to 50 likes is really what we've been doing lately, and that's really been helping. We've been getting more overall views, more subs, more shares. Some days the donos have been a little bit lighter, but we have been getting support, but it could be a little bit better. But we're plugging away. We're grinding. Top of the 6th, 5-3 Kansas City. Runners on the corners on first and third. 2-1 pitch to Mitch Garver. Good eye. Pitch is low, out of the zone. 3-1 count. Take the walk, my guy. You don't even need to swing. Let's see if Mitch Garver has the plate discipline or if he's going to swing it garbage like Julio. Slight check swing, but it was into the dirt. That's a walk. There we go. Nice job, Garv. Way to have patience in the box. Now we got bases loaded with 1 out. Next up, left fielder, Dylan Moore. And we don't expect Demo to go for a grand salami, but if he could end up getting an RBI, that would be great. Haniger has the day off, and Ty France was supposed to play, but he's a little sore, so maybe ankle or arm. So they gave him the day off, and they swiped him with Luke Rayleigh. So Luke Rayleigh ended up going to first base for Ty France, and then Ryan Bliss got the start for Ty France today. So we might get Haniger pinch hitting in maybe the 7th, 8th, or 9th. We'll see. Maybe Ty France, maybe Mitch Haniger. We'll see if we get some of these guys possibly pinch hitting later. Demo popped up the deep right field, tag up. Julio will tag from third to home, and there we go. Now it's 5-4. At least we didn't make it, nothing. You don't want to have guys at first and third with no outs and come up with nothing. Bare minimum, 1 run. You don't want to be that type of player, or that type of team where you got bases loaded or runners at first and third with no outs and you can't even get a fucking run. So at least we got something. Now the game is 5-4. I like our chances. Still, Kansas City will definitely be favored to win this, but at least we're keeping them honest and keeping it close. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run and a K, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And Dom and Ryan Bliss are the next 2 batters. If we can get through the next 2 batters, this game could be 6-5 Mariners. But I don't know if we're going to do that, but I hope we do. Let's go. Come on, Dom. Extend the inning. Takes a first pitch right down the middle for a strike, 0-1 count. Single on the fifth and a run for Dominic Canzone. Go, Dom. Pitch is low and into the dirt. 1-1 count. Top of the sixth, runners on the corners with 2 outs. 5-4 Royals. Great game again. Seems like it's always a competitive, fun matchup with the Royals and the Mariners. Pitch is outside on the corner. Should have been a ball, but called strike. 1-2 count. I just wish the Mariners would come up with more wins in the win column against this team. One-two pitch. Pitch is low, close to the dirt. 2-2 count. Dodgers-Yankees is 50-50. You just don't really know what you're going to get out of the pitchers or the bullpen, as well as their superstars. You know, it could be a high-scoring affair where it could be like 11-10, Yankees winning or Dodgers winning, or it could end up being a low-scoring matchup in a pitcher's duel where it ends up being like a 2-1 victory for a team. So, runners on the corners at first and third, top of the sixth, 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Nice pitch by Long. And we leave 2 stranded again. But we at least get 1 run. So at least I'm not incredibly pissed off at this point. Now we're only down by 1. And we got 3 innings to go. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 5-4 Royals. Next up for the Kansas City Royals, 0 for 2 with a K, left fielder M.J. Melendez. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing for Kansas City, Nelson Velasquez. And batting third, 2 for 2 with a run, RBI, and a homer against his former team, the Seattle Mariners. He's having the game of his life, Adam Frazier. He's been the MVP so far for the Royals today. Marsh actually did a pretty solid job pitching as well. Yeah, $1 billion series for sure. And Dodgers-Yankees will be on in about 2 hours from now, 4:35 Pacific. But no Juan Soto, so I would assume the Dodgers will win, unless they can get others to step up. It's Volpe, Verdugo, Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, Torres, LeMahieu, Wells, and Grisham. Pretty solid starting lineup. That's why they're 45-20. But the difference is Juan Soto. When Juan Soto plays, this team is a completely different beast. Now the Dodgers, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, Baez, Rojas, Hernandez, and Taylor. 45-20 record for the Yankees, 40-25 record for the Dodgers. So Yankees got 5 additional wins, and those 5 additional wins are due to one player, Juan Soto, but not playing today. So the Dodgers will have a little bit of an advantage, you would think, not having Juan Soto in the lineup. But the Dodger lineup doesn't really look that good. Like the bottom end of the lineup looks a little shaky. So Yankees might be able to win that matchup, but we'll see. And the Yankees are at home too, so we will find out what kind of game we get tomorrow or later on this afternoon. Bottom of the 6th, 5-4 Royals. Chopper. Throw to first. 1 away. Nice job by Luke Raley at first base from J.P. Crawford. And Luke Raley never plays first base. This is only his first or second time at first, so he hasn't made any big errors that cost us yet, so that's good. Melendez grounds out to the shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Next up, Nelson Velasquez. 0 for 2 with a K. Pitches in the zone on the corner for a strike, 0-1 count. And Luis Castillo is out, Kirby Snead is in. And Luis Castillo, another shitty outing. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. Only 1 walk, but 4 Ks. And like I said, I thought he was only going to get 4 to 6 Ks, and I was right. The guy can't get 8 to 10 Ks anymore. It's sad, man. It's like we were a squad that could get all 5 pitchers, 8 to 10 Ks. Now, it's like almost a dream thought, an afterthought. Sixth in baseball in the starting 5 rotation. So again, if we could get that ERA down and the win column up, we could be in the top 3. But again, we have top 5 name recognition, but we are the 6th best pitching staff from 1 through 5. 3-1 pitch from Kirby Snead inside and walks Nelson Velasquez. But I don't like our bullpen. Bullpen with no Matt Brash. Santos is not coming back until the end of July. I don't like Sauce. I don't like a lot of these guys that we have in the bullpen, and we have no access to Andres Munoz. He's got a tight back. So it's like, unless we have a big, big lead, not looking too good. Hunter Renfroe checking into the game. Throw to second. Safe. Wow. Stolen base by Velasquez. One pitch to Renfroe. Chop that one foul. 0-2 count. Like, why would you have Hunter Renfroe come in for Adam Frazier if he's having the game of his life, for the Royals? What's the point in that? You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't you keep going with your players that are hot? If you're going to have a pinch hitter, go for a guy that's been, sucking, that's 0 for 3. Why would you go for a guy that's homered, that's been the MVP of the game so far? Why would you have Hunter Renfroe come in for that guy? That doesn't make any sense. Renfroe, dribbler, throw to first, 2 away. Velasquez goes to third. Like, if you're going to have someone come in, have him come in for Nick Lofton or Kyle Isbell, not Adam Frazier. I mean, we'll take it, but that's a very odd move by the Royals manager there. That's like a Scott Service move. Next up, second baseman, 1 for 2 with a run, RBI and a K, Nick Lofton. Pitches outside, 1-0 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. We need 2 more people to smash the like button to get to the goal. We're at 18. So if you're watching on the channel right now in the chat and you haven't done it yet, please do. And if you're on the Twitter/X side and watching, hop over to the YouTube channel side, smash the like button, and then make your way out or stay. You can't chat or have a like button available, on the Twitter/X side. So we're getting closer. We got to get that number before the stream ends. And once we get 20, we can pace for 25 or 30. 3-0 pitch to Lofton. Pitch right down the middle by Kirby Snead, finally getting a strike. 3-1 count. Pitch is outside and walked him. Lofton to first. Runners at first and third with 2 outs now. Next up, center fielder 0 for 1, Kyle Isbell, the center fielder in the 9-hole. Kyle Isbell 0 for 1 with a sack bunt in the 5th. Rojas, Crawford, Bliss, and Rayleigh in the infield. Bottom of the 6th, 5-4 Royals. Runners on the corners on 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. Kirby Sneed coming in for Luis Castillo, but doing just as shitty as Luis did when he was pitching. I got zero confidence in Luis Castillo. I got decent confidence in George Kirby and Logan Gilbert, and Bryce Miller, not a whole lot of confidence in him either. Like I said, I feel like, with George Kirby and Logan Gilbert, the confidence level is usually like around an 8, but sometimes it ends up being like a 5, depending on how the game starts. But with Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller, it's like a 5, and then it ends up usually being like a 1. But Bryce I trust more than Luis. Luis is probably the worst pitcher on the staff, believe it or not. Isbell down that third base line. That'll bring in 1, bring in 2. Sliding in safe, Lofton, 7-4 Royals. Unbelievable. Shows you how important pitching really is. Luis Castillo, garbage. Then you bring in a guy hoping that he's going to be better than Luis Castillo, and then what happens? He's worse. And then you bring in a guy that sucks ass in Kirby Sneed, and now we have a 7-4 game. Nice job by the Royals. I just wish we had competent pitching, because obviously the hitting is very difficult for us. Number 1 strikeout team, can't hit. Bottom 10 hitting team. The last thing we need is the pitching to go down to the shitter, and that's what's happening. Next up, for the Royals, third baseman Michael Garcia, 7-4 Royals. And the way that this game is going, we're fighting back every time they take the lead, but it's looking like the Royals are going to sweep the Mariners. Because I highly doubt we're going to win tomorrow at 11 a.m. And George Kirby, his last outing against the Athletics, he had 9 Ks, but we almost blew the game late with the bullpen pitching like we are right now. So even with 9 Ks tomorrow, that might not be enough against the Royals. Pitches inside. 1-0 count to Michael Garcia. But that's what it shows you, like the pecking order of the great teams. Yankees, right? Orioles, right? And then Royals, Guardians, and then maybe Mariners. So we're not number 1, number 2, number 3. The Mariners right now are number 5, number 6, number 7, somewhere in there in the American League. But it's safe to say that the Royals, the Guardians, the Yankees, and Orioles are better than us. Pitch is a strike. 2-1 count. .333 average, 2 homers, and 31 ribbies with runners in scoring position. We jammed him. Canzone running. There we go. But the damage is done. We leave 1 stranded at second base. 7-4 Royals. All right, I'm going to grab something to drink here real quick. Give me 1 sec. Will Smith, the veteran lefty on the mound now for the Royals. Big swing and a miss for Ryan Bliss, behind in the count 0-2. Big swing and a miss. Got him. Nice pitch by Smith for the Royals. One away. Here goes Ryan Bliss. Next up for the Mariners, 2 for 3, a run and 2 RBIs. Homer off the first pitch of the game, but just not enough. Shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Pitches outside, 1-0 count. Come on, Ems. I don't want to get swept. I mean, we're going to have to play the game of our life. Like, Kirby's going to have 9 or 10 Ks tomorrow. We're going to have to hit 5 runs or more, 7 to 10 hits, and that still may not be enough tomorrow because we're playing at 11 a.m. Pacific, and I don't know if we're even going to be awake. We'll be wiping the crust out of our eyes, and, you know, it's not a normal routine when you play that early in the morning. We're definitely an late afternoon, evening team. We're not very good in the early afternoon, like lunchtime or in the morning. Pitch is in the zone on a 3-0 count for a strike to JP. 3-1 count. Paisley Pup is in here. She misses Dad. Three-one pitch to JP. Chops that one foul. 3-2 count. Chopper right back to the pitcher. Throw to first. 2 away. And we're 1 like away from hitting the goal. There we go. We got it. Thank you so much. We finally hit 20 right after that 2-hour break there at that moment in the stream. So now we have 5 more to get to 25, but we hit the 20. Let's go. Let's try to shoot for 30 before the stream ends. Top of the 7th, 7-4 Royals. Oh, she's doing great. I mean, she's my whole world. I don't really hang out with anybody. You know, it's like pretty much work every day and then just spend time with her every day, and that's it. Popped up to right field. 3 up and 3 down. Kansas City rolling and wheeling and dealing. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And it kind of feels like with the body language of the Mariner players that they've given up. You know, like sometimes you can kind of tell, like if a team is already thinking about like the plans for later on in the evening or tomorrow's game. Kind of feels like some of the players have checked out already, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And then tomorrow's game is early, but again, I'll watch it in the morning. Hopefully we don't get absolutely obliterated tomorrow morning at 11. I got NASCAR Cup Series tomorrow at 12:30, so that'll be fun. And then we will be doing the WWE NXT pay-per-view for wrestling at 5 o'clock Pacific tomorrow. So we will be streaming that, and hopefully we'll get some of the wrestling crowd in, and we'll make up on the donos tomorrow for what's going on today. I'm going to need it, too, because like I said, I got a few bills, you know, with the internet bill and the cell phone bill, you know, coming up here very, very shortly. So, you know, any type of support that we can get will definitely help. Due up for the Royals, 0 for 3. Shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. Very odd for a player of his caliber to be 0 for 3, but he'll probably end up getting a hit at this at-bat. Batting second, first baseman, Vinny Pasquantino. And batting third, catcher, the OG, Salvador Perez. Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, that's why I can't, take multiple days off. Like I said, I have to pretty much work every single day because I don't know what I'm going to end up getting myself into. Some streams we might end up having an amazing dono day, but then we'll have other streams that are like today, and I can't afford to have, streams like this that often, like if it ends up happening once or twice a month, fine, but I can't have it happen more than that, with all the hard work and time and energy that I'm putting in. I just want to make sure that I'm getting, the proper respect for the grind and the effort. So, especially when you got, a lot of bills to pay, Bobby Witt Jr., there it is, little bloop single. Mine's way higher than that. But I got, obviously, a gig service, for my internet. My internet bill is like $75 and my cell is like $130. $131 for whatever reason. They jacked the bill up this month. So I hope we get some good results tomorrow in that WWE stream or I'm going to be fucked. So hopefully we can get some better support. Nice hit there by Bobby Witt Jr. Next up, first baseman, Vinny Pasquantino. Popped up. Should be a routine play there to J.P. Crawford. One away. Next up, catcher, Salvador Perez. Pitch in the zone for a strike. 0-1 count. Snyder to Salvador Perez. Oh, 1 pitch. Pitches inside to Perez. 1-1 count. Salvador Perez batting .306. 10 homers and 42 ribbies in 2024. One of the more underrated catchers in Major League Baseball. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 count. One-two pitch to Perez. Got him. There we go. Next up for the Royals, 0 for 3 with a K, left fielder MJ Melendez. Pitch is high and outside, 1-0 count. Bottom of the seventh, 7-4 Royals. Runner at first, 2 away. Top that one behind the plate, foul. 1-1 count to MJ Melendez, 0 for 3 with a ground out in the 6th. Pitch is outside, 2-1 count. throw to first. Safe. Two-one pitch. Big swing and a miss by Melendez. 2-2 count. Two-two pitch from Snyder to Melendez. Got him. There we go. Inning over. End of the 7th inning. Let's go to the top of the 8th. 7-4 Kansas City. See who's up for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with a run and 2 Ks. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, Luke Raley. Luke Raley, 0 for 3. Let's make it 1 for 4. Let's go, Luke. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you're taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that a lot of people are going through, or maybe you've gone through it in the past. So if you feel like you're slipping a little bit into the darkness, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine so you can win the day. You know, maybe eat a little bit less fast food and have a home-cooked meal. You know, exercise, listen to music. If you make these minor adjustments to your daily routine, you'd be really surprised. It can definitely help you climb out of the darkness sooner, and you can win the day. Big facts. Yeah, they were just mentioning on the broadcast how good Reagan's has been. Obviously, pitcher that they're going to have for tomorrow's game for the Royals, even though he only has roughly a 500 record, but as a former Texas Ranger, you know, won a World Series over there, and it's not going to be easy. Could get ugly. I hope we don't end up losing like 10-1 tomorrow, but if that ended up happening, I wouldn't be shocked. But hopefully we can find a way to rally here late, but it just doesn't really feel like it's going to happen. And hopefully tomorrow doesn't get ugly and we can keep it close. 0-2 pitch to Julio. Pitch is low and into the dirt. 1-2 count. Come on, Julio. Julio, dribbler towards third base, throw to first, 1 away. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks. Let's try to get your second hit here tonight. Let's go 2 for 4. Come on, Cal. It's always good to be able to play against the best in baseball to see how you kind of match up, you know, pitching and hitting wise. And obviously on the road is always going to be more difficult than at home, you know, but still feel we're one of the better teams. We're one of the top 10 teams in Major League Baseball, but you know, there's definitely at least 4 teams that are ahead of the Mariners at this point. I think right now we're the fifth best team in the American League. We're first in our division here in the American League West. But again, the Rangers and Astros haven't been as good this year, and obviously that's partially due to the Mariners' success. But we still got a little ways to go. Another 100 games roughly before we get into October. One-0 pitch. Pitches inside, 2-0 count. And really a big chunk of their success is going to be, their pitchers doing slightly better than the last few years, but also the consistency of Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez. If you got two guys that are batting over 300 and the Mariners have 0 players batting over 300, well, there's a difference. And then if those other random players that are role players that are playing near those guys start stepping up, like MJ Melendez and Velasquez, then you can end up getting nice quality games like this, or guys like Adam Frazier that you don't expect him to do anything and ends up having a career day against the Mariners. So it really starts off with their two best players, Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez being consistent, and if you can have two guys batting over 300, it definitely helps. We used to have guys, 6 or 7 guys out of 9 batting over 300 back in the day, but it's a pitching league now. It's like the NFL is a passing league. It's no longer a running league. And this is no longer a hitting league. There's no steroids or Balco or PEDs. It's a pitching league now. It's very difficult to get runs and hits. Pitches outside, 1-0 count to Mitch Garver. Top of the 8th, 7-4 Royals. Runner at first with 2 outs. 1-0 pitch. Sidearm throw to Garver. 2-0 count. Yeah, we need bullpen and we need hitters. But again, do we want to mortgage everything, for our guys that are sitting, in the minors? I mean, we normally never have a good farm system, and we got like 8 guys in the top 100, like the most the Mariners have ever had. So if we end up trading away like 2 or 3 of those guys, for like a Bo Bichette or a Vlad Jr., right? We better make sure that we keep them on the team, not just a 3-month rental, because some of those guys in the minors could end up being starters for the Mariners like next year. So we have to be very selective and careful that if we're going to give away our 2 top prospects out of the 8 that we have to bring in like a Vlad or a Bo, they better, play well for us. Because if we end up bringing in Vlad Jr. or Bo, what happens if we bring them in and then they get hurt or they bat like 150? Then we pretty much, mortgage away the whole future for a name that, doesn't step up. So it's going to be very risky, and of course it would be awesome to have Vlad Jr. in the lineup, batting, third in the lineup for the Mariners to give us that extra oomph in the lineup, or Bo Bichette. But just because those guys were traditionally good for the Blue Jays does not mean they're going to be good for the Mariners. It's all belief and hope that whatever they do, over there, that they can do over here. But we'll find out. I mean, knowing the Mariners, they're cheap, so they probably won't go for the big name guys. They'll go for some no-name fucking Mike Smith on like the White Sox that no one's ever heard of, and try to, maximize whatever, potential that guy has. Or maybe like a Brent Rooker from the Athletics. They're, Luis Robert, Bo Bichette, and Vlad Jr. I would be shocked if we ended up pulling the trigger for any of those guys. And I'm not sure if that would be a good move if we're giving away a lot of the chunks and great pieces in the farm system. Garver, line drive to left field. 3 up and 3 down. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th. 7-4 Royals. Next up for the Royals, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball and a K, DHing for Kansas City, Nelson Velasquez. Pinch hitting for Adam Frazier, which makes no sense. Right fielder Hunter Renfroe, 0 for 1. And batting third, 1 for 2, 2 runs, Nick Lofton, the second baseman. Now, the only bright side with today is that the Mariners are a very good 8th and 9th inning team. You know, we can score, runs in those bottom two, but again, right now we're down by 3 runs. The chances of us getting 3 runs in the 9th is not impossible, but probably realistically 5% chance that we even get a run, and then maybe a 1% chance that we actually get 3 runs, and then probably 0.5% to actually get 4 to win the game or win an extra. So I feel like the players have checked out, and again, you can tell a lot by just watching the game, by looking at body language and how the players are talking to each other, and if their shoulders are shrugged, and if they're, wondering what's for dinner tonight and where they're going to go and hang out, and, or are they thinking about tomorrow's game, or are they focused on today? Trent Thornton coming into the game. Trent Thornton in the mound, little dribbler towards third base, foul by Velasquez. Bottom of the 8th, 7-4 Royals. 1-1 pitch from Thornton to Nelson Velasquez. Pitch is outside, 2-1 count. Pitch popped up. Julio, 1 away. Next up for the Royals, right fielder 0 for 1, Hunter Renfroe. One pitch to Renfroe. Line drive to left field. Renfroe going for 2. Stand-up double for Hunter Renfroe. Next up for the Royals, 1 for 2 with 2 runs, an RBI, and base on ball, Nick Lofton. Yeah, I think that, the way that the Mariners are built, I think in the next 15 to 20 years, there will be, in this Julio, Cal Raleigh, George Kirby era, when we brought those 3 guys in 2022, I think that we're going to have the most success that we've ever had in the next 15 to 20 years. And I think there will be a good possibility for 1 or 2 possible World Series appearances. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to be good enough to win it, but I do think that we will have a good chance in the next 15 to 20 years to at least get to 1 or 2. You hope, hopefully it's more than that. I mean, it would be great if we could have like 3 or 4 World Series appearances in 20 years, but we know how competitive Major League Baseball is. And again, the Mariners are pretty cheap as an organization. They don't really spend a whole lot of money to win. So throw to third base, safe. Blanco stole third. But again, I mean, I would love to be able to see the Mariners win a World Series before I die. And I would love to see the Oregon Ducks win a Natty before I die. I know the Ducks are going to be very, very good. We should be in the playoff next year. Again, you got Georgia, you got Oregon, you got Ohio State, you got Texas. I mean, those are the 4 best teams in college football, period. And based on recruiting, it wouldn't surprise me if those end up being the top 4 pretty much all year. So it just depends on who's going to end up being the best. And I like Oregon's chances to get closer and closer to get to a Natty. And we might go to a Natty in, a year, a 2 year, or 3 years. Not necessarily, we might not win it against Texas or Georgia, or Ohio State. But the way that our recruiting is going, as long as we can keep our head coach, we're going to have a chance. But I would love to see the Mariners win a World Series as well. My buddy's at some Korean barbecue place for the first time. My buddy Justin. It's for his cousin's birthday, so he's going to send me a photo. He's like, what should I get? He's not too familiar with the Korean barbecue. I'm like, bro, it's all good. Kyle Isbell popped up with runners on the corners on first and third with 1 out. Julio tagging up. Blanco throwing home. Safe. Of course he's safe. 8-4 Royals. And obviously putting in Blanco as a pinch runner for Renfroe, that's smart managing. I wish Scott Service was smart like that. Because if you had Hunter Renfroe, he won, he might have been able to make it, but obviously Blanco gives you more speed. Bottom of the 8th, 8-4 Royals with a runner at second with 2 away. Next up, third baseman Michael Garcia. Well, unfortunate that the support really wasn't there today, not only for the stream, but for the Mariners as well. But, tomorrow will be better. We'll be doing WWE NXT TakeOver pay-per-view, and hopefully we can hit 100 on donos on that to make up for today. But sometimes, you got to work hard and you got to grind it out, and you don't really know what's going to happen. It's not a guaranteed thing every single day like most people have a 8 to 5 job. You know how much money you're going to be making every single day. When you're a streamer, you have no idea. So, line drive to JP Crawford. But hopefully this is the last poor performance day that we have in a while. We're getting support like the Mariners baseball play today. Not very. All right, end of the 8th inning, 8-4 Royals. We're down to the last 3 outs. Let's see if we can get someone to come in and show some love. See if we can end up getting a few hits or a few runs here before the game ends. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with an RBI, left fielder Dylan Moore. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run, and 2 Ks, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks, second baseman Ryan Bliss. due up for the Mariners here with the last 3 outs. James MacArthur on the mound, Dylan Moore in the box. For Demo. Dominic Canzone. Well, he's got to earn that photo. He actually has to do something good for us to be able to put it up on the screen. We got to be able to save. We got to be able to save it when he actually does something good. Top of the ninth, 8-4 Royals. 0-2 count to Dylan Moore. Pitch is low and into the dirt. 1-2 count. But I'm not going to let this loss affect me in my mental health. You know, I got Paisley. We'll spend the rest of the day together. We got the Stanley Cup Finals. We got Yankees and Dodgers coming up in about an hour. Stanley Cup Finals, game number 1, the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. And then we got a Mariner game tomorrow at 11 a.m. We got NASCAR Cup Series, at 12:30. And then I got an NXT pay-per-view stream at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So I got plenty of things to brighten my weekend. Just unfortunate that we lost the game yesterday that we should have won, and then we were probably going to end up losing this game and tomorrow. So we would have won at least one, but now, if we don't bring it tomorrow with a great performance out of George Kirby and the hitters, we're going to get swept. I hope we bring a great performance. I really wish Brian Wu was pitching tomorrow. That would give me more confidence that we would be able to get it done. Seems like the hitters play harder for Brian Wu than the other pitchers. If you notice the body language and the vibe and the aura when you watch Mariner games, watch how everyone reacts when Castillo pitches, Kirby pitches, Miller pitches, and Logan Gilbert, right? Just look at how the other players react on how those pitchers are doing when they do good or bad. But then watch when Brian Wu's on the mound. It's totally different. It's like crazy to have a 5-hole pitcher, actually be the number one, but that's what it is. So finding the count 0-2 to Dominic Canzone. O2 pitch, dribbler, flip to first. This picture has to be saved when he goes for a big RBI or a home run. All right, we're down to our final out. Someone that's actually been seeing the baseball really well since he's been called up from AAA, second baseman Ryan Bliss. Wow, second in baseball to the Phillies with wins at home. So obviously not very many teams win. The Royals record is going to be 24-10. Only, second place to the Phillies at home. So it shows you the Phillies and the Royals are the two best teams in the National League and American League with home field advantage. So that actually makes me feel a little bit better, as a Mariner fan. Popped up, throw to first, and there is the game. Final score, Kansas City Royals 8, Seattle Mariners 4. And we have a game tomorrow with George Kirby on the mound at 11. But again, I'm just going to watch it with Paisley and watch the NASCAR Cup Series. And if you are a wrestling fan, come through tomorrow and watch WWE NXT TakeOver. We'll be doing that pay-per-view tomorrow. That live stream will be at 5 p.m. Pacific. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Shout out to Sarah with your help filling in for Matt. Edgar, shout out to you. Shout out to all the fans watching. Wish it was a little bit better. GG to all the Royals fans. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Have a great rest of your Saturday evening. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific for an WWE NXT TakeOver stream at 5 p.m. Pacific. Love you and appreciate you. And I'm out. Got it.